everyone, it's Natalia, Luxury Natalia. Special guest today is Rose Damen, ahead of Women's Day on the 8th of March. How are you today?
I'm fine. Thank you so much for having me, Natalia. Delighted, to be here, especially running up to Women's Day.
Thank you so much, and especially because it's such a busy schedule for all of you in the shipping industry and the yachting industry. Wow, tell me about what is your average day like?
Well, at the moment, I mean, you're right, because we are very busy at the yard. We've had some sea trials going on, some yachts coming out of the shed, some new hulls arriving, having to go into the shed. And on top of that, in Holland, we've also, I think like in the rest of Europe, we've had some very stormy weather over the past 3 weeks. So it's been quite stressful and a lot of work for our team to deal with. So, but
Wow.
Still everything on track so far.
Fingers crossed, exactly. I mean, it seems like winter has come in a very strange way. We're supposed to be in the springtime, and yet now it's completely gone to what it was meant to be. So, oh well. Challenging times. But maybe we could go back to, we are coming up to International Women's Day, and there aren't that many women in a position like your good self. And I was wondering, what do you have to do to become you, let's say?
Well, I mean, Natalia, I grew up, of course, in boats. I mean, Damen is a family business. My grandfather founded it, and I'm third generation. So, you know, in my case, maybe it's not such a coincidence. But I mean, you're right. I mean, my background actually before joining the family business was in finance, and I thought that was an impossible industry with very few women until I came to shipbuilding and yachting more specifically.
Yeah.
And we have a long way to go, I think. But I'm also optimistic because if I look around me, and I mean, you're definitely an example of that. We do have a lot of female talent in the industry, but I think it's now a responsibility for all of us to really make that work and really give the great women working in this industry the opportunities that they deserve.
For sure. And then I came briefly to your wonderful coffee morning at the Monaco Yacht Show, which was for women only in the industry. How wonderful. Tell me a bit more about why you decided to do that.
Well, it was a very spontaneous idea, but here I'm very, very pleased to give the credit actually to my colleague Denitza Avamil, and she's actually the one who came up with the idea, not myself, but of course I love the idea, and it's like we had this change schedule in the boat show where we now start at 11 and it used to be 10 a.m. and we thought, well, we have this we need to absolutely make the most out of it in the 4 days. So we came up with a morning schedule every day, and it only seemed to make total sense to have a women in yachting coffee, and it was kind of last minute and spontaneous, but I was so pleased, you know, by the turnout, and it was really a lot of women joining from shipbuilders, from the design world, from the brokerage world. Really a lot of women coming together. So it's like, yeah, we have a good team, and now we just need to support each other to expand.
Absolutely. And I thought that was wonderful. In fact, I met Yihan Yu and interviewed her. So it was kind of thanks to you guys that this happened. And I'm
excellent. Well, she's an amazing design talent. And I'm sure she's going to do brilliant in our industry. So glad you guys met.
Wonderful. So maybe you could tell me about your shipyard. Do you employ more women now that, you know, it's easier for women to get into the industry, and technicalities are, well, it's for everyone. It's not just male orientated. Tell me a bit more about how it is at the shipyard.
Yeah. Well, like I said, and it's definitely the same at our shipyard at Damen and Amos. We have a very long way to go, but I do like to make this, a slightly bigger topic than just women. I think it's really important for us that we focus on diversity, and diversity in many ways. Of course, gender diversity, but also different backgrounds, different nationality, really diversity in the broadest sense. And I think that's what we should focus on. And the more diverse teams, and you see it also in our company, it's not always the easiest process and the easiest way to get there, but I really believe that the end result is better.
Sure. And one thing I must compliment you Dutch people with is that you're so embracing. Whenever I go to Holland for the various events that take place when it's off season, I just come back completely buzzed. I don't know what you do or what you eat for breakfast, but there's something, you're such a great nation and people that it's a pleasure to work with you always. Yeah.
Oh, thank you. Thank you so much.
So maybe let's turn to more serious matters. What might be interesting for the audience to know, as you are in the shipping and the yachting industry, is what does it take to make a super yacht? Especially now we're talking about explorer yachts. The yachts are getting bigger, faster, better, going into the unknown. What is it that makes the super yacht?
Yeah, it's a very good question. I mean, we have, of course, our niche, I'd say, in the super yacht industry, where we really focus on offering a standardized technical platform in combination with a custom layout and interior. And in order to, for this process of design, we probably have a slightly different route than maybe other shipyards. And the hardest part is probably in the beginning, where we really have to decide, okay, which direction are we going? Where do we see the market heading? What is the feedback that we get from clients, but also the feedback that we get from captains and from crew, and how we, and from brokers, of course, how can we, design the best possible product? And I think getting the right input from all these different stakeholders and then combine them into the right mix, that is the hardest. That's the hardest thing, and also the part that takes up most time in our process. And sometimes it's hard to really pinpoint, when did we really start developing a certain project or a certain product, because it's often been there sort of for years, and then we pick it up and put the right ingredients together and try to make it into something that that proves successful in the market. But for sure, we see, of course, next to our Amos luxury yachts that are Damen Yacht Support and our Damen Sea Explorers are really, tapping into sort of a new market segment, where we see that clients want to be closer to the water. They want to enjoy the surroundings in a different way, perhaps, than some years ago. And we see a lot of development there. We have just had sea trials with the first Sea Explorer, 62-meter Sea Explorer. We're launching another one, a 77-meter this year, and then we're also delivering a 55-meter Sea Explorer in 22.
Fantastic. Well done. This is always so exciting, and you're watched by the world all over in terms of what the next thing is. And something I read recently in one of your interviews, and you must do so many, is if you look at our past, you can see our future. I really love that phrase.
Yeah, I think so. I think that's absolutely right, because on the one hand, we really stick to who we are in the industry, and that, I think, in the end, that comes down to developing and investing in standardized technical platforms. But at the same time, we also have to adapt, of course, to an ever-changing market. Our clients are much more global. Our client base is much more global these days. We've seen a lot of demand coming from Asia, but also from the US in our case, and the Americas maybe in general. So we always have to be on top of our game, and work together with all the stakeholders in the industry to do our best.
Amazing. Yes. And is the myth true that usually when it comes to a yacht build, that at the end of the day, it's the woman has the end say?
I think really, looking at looking at our clients, and we also have female clients, but very often I think they are families, and they also approach the project as as a family. And I sometimes think, what we really sell is quality time to families. Our clients are often entrepreneurs. They're often still working, don't have a lot of time, and with the time that they do have and that they do get to spend with their families, they want to make the most out of that. And in order to do so, usually we see a whole family gets involved.
Hmm. Oh, that's wonderful. And is it so that once you get one yacht, a certain size, you keep going bigger and bigger, or what's the trend right now? It's going for the
Um,
impossible.
Yeah, I mean, I can only say, of course, speak for how we see it as a yard, but for us, that's not necessarily the case. I think for a time there was definitely a trend of going bigger, and in part it's still there. Um, but we also, I mean, I think our yacht support vessels are probably the proof of that. We see also clients going for the smart stretch,
Yeah.
where they do not buy a bigger boat, but where they buy a second boat to support them, and bring more toys like submarines, large tenders, helicopters, sailboats, and just more toys, and maybe more crew, and boost their yachting experience basically in a different way. And there's something to say for everything, of course. But I think fun is not necessarily related to size. Yeah,
Yeah.
we even had a client who basically bought a second yacht, so he could, have a yacht in two places at the same time, or sometimes bring a big group of friends all together. So I think there's not really one solution for all.
Okay, super. Wow. Yeah, the luxury of that. Now, coming back to this theme of the luxury with Natalia is the name of the show. You evoked something that comes up a lot. People say that luxury is time, exactly, because it's so hard to get, and especially for our clients. What is it for you? What is your personal definition, Rose?
Yeah, I think that's a good question, and I think my personal luxury definitely has everything, to do with time as well, and I think especially in this industry, a lot of us, we work a lot, are always available 24/7, but to be able to do that for longer period of time, you also really have to look after yourself, not just after yourself, but also your friends and family, of course. So my luxury is actually not luxury at all, but it's probably sailing on our 54 feet sailing yacht, which is in Copenhagen at the moment. And that's basically my parents spend their summer sailing, and we try to join for a couple of weeks, and I just love unwinding like that.
Wow, and also braving the weather up there because the North Sea is definitely different from the Mediterranean.
Yeah, that's true, but it's really not bad. It's really not bad. We've had some good weather around there as well. Some nice summer weather.
Amazing, amazing, super. And my question also would be, for concept yachts and designers, new designers, young designers, and thank goodness that Boat International do the awards. It's kind of nice to bring that new generation in. How does the Damen Shipyard react to that? Do you collaborate with some of the designers? How does it work?
Yeah, I love that initiative, and it's great. And I mean, you met Yearn, of course, and she's a great example of that. But as a group, as Damen, we also try to, of course, engage with young talent, and we do it in different ways. Of course, we do it through business courses, but we also do it through projects like the solar project We have every year in Monaco that we participate in with a team from the university in Delft. So we really try to engage in different way. And I don't know if there are any young people watching, if they have any ideas or so, feel free to drop me a line, and it's rose.damen@damen.com. So feel free to get in touch, because we're always open to that.
That is wonderful. And exactly, this is the point of the show, is to open it up to people who might be afraid or not understand how to go about. Even just asking a question of where do I start? Or here's some designs I've done. What do you think? So it's great to see that you're open to having that discussion and communication channel. Well done. I applaud you for that. And that kind of goes into the fact that, as a family-run business, I find that it carries through in the business world. And how many people do you have currently now in the shipyard?
Well, Damen is about 12,000 worldwide, which is great, of course, and it's a great team, and at the same time it's also a huge responsibility.
Yeah.
We have a good team. My brother is the CEO now of the group, so since the 1st of January, so he's not only my brother but also my boss.
How does that feel?
And even my dad at 75, he's still very much involved. My sister, she's also very much involved on the yachting side, playing an important role in selecting the interior designs. So it's really a family business. And my own daughter, she's only one. So she's a little bit, she's tiny, but she has already been to the Dubai boat show. So she also started young.
Oh, that's wonderful. So the new generation carrying through. I love that. It's wonderful. And there's no surprise then that you were awarded in 2017 the Enterprising Woman of the Year award, together with your sister.
Together with my sister.
That's wonderful. And what kind of other awards or places can one apply, do you think, are good places and avenues to go for to try and cement the presence of women in yachting?
Yeah, that's a good question. Actually, we should think more about that. I mean, of course, I really appreciated the award, and so did my sister. But we also see it as a responsibility to really that we really have a role to play as well in making sure women in this industry really get all the opportunities they need. And we have to catch up on this.
Yes, absolutely. I think maybe next Monaco Yacht Show, there's a chance, the next coffee meeting, and discuss how to make it a bit more friendlier for the women in the environment that we're finding ourselves in, and to communicate more, and to what I think is important, to have a voice, right?
Yes, yeah, I totally agree.
Fantastic.
So I know if there are any women listening, I'm sure we're going to do it again in Monaco, and just follow us on social media and so on. And we have to stick together wherever you're working in this industry.
Definitely. Cool. So where are you off to next? Where can we find Rose Damen?
Well, it was going to be Singapore, of course, but unfortunately that's been postponed now.
Yeah.
So next trip will be St. Bart's, and then the Palm Beach show.
Okay, well, I wish you and the team all the best of luck with that, and can't wait to look into the future and see what the next steps are for you, and also for the yachting industry and women in yachting in particular.
Thank you so much, Natalia, and let us know when you're in Holland. You're always welcome.
Thank you so much. Appreciate it. Thanks so much, everyone, for watching this episode with Luxury with Natalia. I hope you enjoyed it, and we'll catch up real soon. Take care, everyone.